This is the second video in a small series about training your own AI denoise model and use it with Darktable 5.6. In the last video, we did the training and a smoke run. In this video, I will show you how to create your own training dataset, and then we will train your model. Then, next week's video will be about importing it in Darktable 5.6. So if that sounds good for you, let's go. There is just one rule. The scene must not move at all. You need to do one picture at base ISO and then many pictures at higher ISOs. Then what happens is during training, the model will compare the clean images with the noisy one. That's why if your camera moves or the subject is moving, your training data will be bad. And that's also why your subject must be still. So it could be books, a chair, a rock, something like that. You need to avoid anything that could be moving between pictures, like your dog, your cat, your kids, a candle, stuff like that. Also, the light must be stable, so don't play with the light in the room. And if you're taking pictures nearby a window, you need to be careful because if the light changes outside, then it will mess up with your training data. Now I will show you exactly how I'm taking pictures. Again, your camera must be on a tripod. Then you frame your scene and you focus once. On my camera, what I like to do is I select the focus point, then I half press the shutter to focus, and then I switch to manual focus. After that, it means my scene is in focus, but the focus won't change in between scenes. Also, I set my camera to aperture priority, so that way the aperture never changes, but when I adjust the ISO, only the shutter speed will be adjusted. Now we need to take pictures without shaking the camera. One thing you can do is set a timer on your camera. Another thing I like to do is to use the application on my phone, so then I can take the pictures without touching the camera at all. So then I start with ISO 100, I take one picture, and then I move to higher ISO. So let's say I do 200. And that's it. So I can continue like that to have as much noisy images as possible. So now we have all these pictures so we can transfer them to the computer. Okay, when you have all your pictures, you can place them in Dataset. So in this folder, you see I've created a folder. I call it runIn_perso. If you go there, then you have SRC, then Bayer, and then I have all my scenes. So you need to follow the same structure because that's what the run-in script is expecting. And then for each scene, you need to configure it like this. So in GT, you have the low ISO picture. So if I open this one, you see it's ISO 100, which is the base ISO of my camera. And then right there, that's where I've put the higher ISO pictures. So you see ISO 2000, this one. This one is 8000, 32,000, and 51,000. So that's the structure the script is expecting. So you make sure you do that for all of your scenes. So once your scenes are there, make sure you run the script from this folder. And then we need to crop everything. So we will run this command. This is roughly the same command we ran before, but we are specifying the dataset we want to use. So we want to use our own. So I press enter and I will let it run. Okay, cropping is completed. Now I will run this to align all of the images, but I will remove the number of threads. So we will go full speed because I don't want to repeat the same issue as last time when it took 5 hours to process everything. So I will run that. Okay, so alignment is completed. So we should be able to start the training. I will use this command. So it's very similar to the last command we used, but I specify I only want 5,000 steps. And I will do validation every 500 steps. Also, when we try it in last video, we didn't use this flag. That's because there is a configuration file to reserve some scenes for validation. But in our case, because it's a custom data set, we don't have this configuration file. So instead, we will specify the scene we want to use for validation in the command. In this example, I will use scene 1, 2, and 3. So what will happen is the training will be done on all of the remaining scenes. So the model won't be trained with scene 1, 2, and 3, but we will use them for validation. So to test the model, we need to test it with images it never seen before. So that's why we reserve some scene for testing and validation. So that's it. I will run this. All good. Okay, so the 5000 was completed. And when I look at the YAML file, I can see that the best step was 5000. This means the model was still improving, so I could let it run longer to get a better model. And if we look at the MSC value, we can see every steps it's going down. So it was still going down when the training stopped. So this is bad. You don't want that to happen. So what I've done is I started the training again. This time it will run for 25,000 steps. Okay, training is completed and the best step was 21,000, around that. So I will keep that one. Anyways, it's just for testing. So I only have 32 scenes. So before I do a real training and all, I want to have around 100 scenes. So in the next video, what we will do is we will use the checkpoint we created. So the model. Right now it's a PyTorch model, so we will convert it into ONNX and then import it inside Darktable to denoise our own picture using our own model inside Darktable. Crazy stuff. See you next time.